Hey everybody, Coach Dave here. I'm going to take you through some strategies to optimize your break time. So feel free to jump through to different segments. What I'm going to do is show you some different stretch moves that you can do lying down on the floor, seated in a chair or bench or couch, and also some things from standing. Finally, we're going to go through some breathing exercises to help you relax and focus. So please join me. Make sure that you have yoga mat, an elevated surface. The surface can be a bench, couch, a chair, or anything that you can sit on. We're going to start down on the floor. So meet me there. And the first move we're going to do is a nice spine and hip stretch. I'm going to call it a crossover. To begin, let's straighten out the left leg and let's take the right knee up off the floor and drop it off to the left side. To start off, should try to keep that right shoulder pinned down to the floor. Take that right knee in the left hand and gently pull down towards the floor. Keep that right shoulder pinned. Focus on taking deep, slow breaths here. Each breath out, try to pull that knee a little bit lower. Breathe in deeply and out slowly. That knee should be getting a little bit closer to the floor. One more deep breath. Slowly return to start. Let's straighten out the right leg. Now let's bring that left knee up. Keeping the left shoulder pinned down to the floor, drop the left knee over to the right side and gently pull down with that right hand. You might feel a couple of back pops, that's totally fine. Just make sure you're taking those deep breaths. And slowly, gently pulling as you breathe out. One more deep breath here. Alrighty friends, slowly return back to the start. And the next thing we're going to do is lie down on your right side. And we're going to focus on a really good shoulder stretch. So your arm is up at 90 degrees, your elbow is at 90 degrees. And we are going to gently pull down on that right fist with your left hand. We're going for internal rotation of the right shoulder. Take a breath and gently push down. As you're going through this stretch, I want you to try to keep that shoulder away from the ears so you're not shrugging up. Okay, your armpit is pretty close to the floor. You're not kind of lifting yourself up off the floor as you press down. Okay, find a good stretch somewhere on the top of that shoulder. Take a couple more breaths. Slowly release. Let's go ahead and flip over to the left side. You know, the same exact thing. Knees stacked, left arm up and out about 90 degrees, elbows at 90 degrees. Make a fist with the left hand and gently press down with the right hand. Take a deep breath. As you breathe out, slowly try to push that fist down a little bit closer to the floor. One more deep breath in this position. After this, slowly releasing, we're going to get back on your back, and we're going to try to decompress the spine in a position of flexion. So I want you to grab both of your knees. You can either grab on top of the knee, or you can clasp your hands up over the top, whichever is more comfortable. You are trying to roll your spine into a bit of a ball here, so a little decompression, and then absolutely you can rock back and forth from side to side. And also just hold that position. So I really like this position of flexion decompression. Even though we spend a lot of time in flexion at our desks, it's usually in a position where you're not decompressing. So it's nice to get into this position before we do our next one, which is going to be a Cobra Pose. So feel free to stay here as long as you want to help relax. Take one deep breath before we switch as a group. When your exhale is done, I want you to flip over onto your stomach. Okay, we're going to meet in a Sphinx pose. So Sphinx is going to be elbows right under shoulders and fists down the floor like this. Okay, keeping the hips glued down towards the floor. The goal here is to decompress the spine in a position of extension. So this is kind of primarily focusing on the low back. You shouldn't feel any pinching in this position. If you feel pinching in your low back, I want you to back off by bringing your elbows farther away from your body. Okay? If you feel 100% comfortable here, no pain, no discomfort, then I want you to take your hands flat to the floor and slowly, gently push into straight arms. Nice. Take a breath into your belly. In whatever position you're in, I want you to try to go a little bit deeper as long as you're not feeling any discomfort. Deep breath, try to touch the belly button to the floor. And long, slow breath out. One more breath in this position. Slowly release, and we're going to get into a quadruped position. So this next sequence is just going to be floor-based movements that you can do from your hands and knees. Okay? First one is going to be hip-focused. What I want you to do is get the hands right under the shoulders and then take that right leg long out the side. All right. So the focus is on the inside of the leg, adductor muscles, as well as the hamstring muscles. First thing that you need to make sure is that if you had a tail, you've got happy tail up like this, and it's not sad tail tucked underneath. So in order to make sure that you're there, I want you to actually take the tail, point the tail feathers up, and then pull the tail feathers between the knees. Do that a couple of times so that you get a good feel for the position we need. Okay? Find that happy tail to the sky position, and by doing that, you might already feel a tug on the inside of those legs. That's good. And we're going to rock the hips back. As we rock, we're going to turn the right toes clockwise to the right as far as you can. When you're there, take your hands and walk them off towards your right foot. Find a good stretch, take a breath, and then return all the way back to the start. We're going to do that as reps. We've got 5 reps. Okay? Happy tail, rock back, clockwise rotate, walk the hands. And back. There's 1. Wind it back up. There's 2. There's 3. Make sure you're taking nice, full breaths, and you're trying to keep your spine neutral to enhance that hip stretch. There's 4. And there's 5. Alrighty, friends, let's switch sides. Let's bring that left leg long onto the side. Alright, check in. Make sure you're working that hip position. So, happy tail, rock back, turn those toes counterclockwise, freeze, and then walk the hands out towards the left foot. Take a breath, and slowly return to the start. All right, going for reps, we've got 5. Rock back, counterclockwise rotate, walk the hands, and walk forward. Here's 2. Full breaths for each rep. Two more. Good reps. And the last one. Best one. Perfect. All right. This next sequence is some movements that you can do from a seated position. You can do these at your desk, seated at your chair, and these on the couch, and you can just do them anywhere that you have an elevated surface. Okay? The first thing is going to be seated just like you would be at your desk. And we're going to do super simple figure four. Right. So posture is something that's talked about a lot. There's no such thing as perfect posture. This is not perfect. Neither is this, neither of them is imperfect. The idea is that you should be moving from position to position with regularity. However, when it comes to stretching, the reason we're going to say kind of a perfect posture or straight spine is it because if your spine is straight, you are focusing that stretch on your hip, which is the goal. We're trying to stretch our hips, not our spine with this particular move. So in the figure four, I've got my right foot crossed over my left leg. And nice, straight, tall chest. Remember that tail feather? So you can kind of position that tail so it's happy. And then you're going to take your knee in both hands and pull across to your left shoulder. Take a breath. With this, you can enhance the stretch a bit by bowing. And bowing the stretch is going to be either rotating towards, you can even lean forward a tad, whatever you find works for you. And in this position, sometimes people feel the best stretch by pressing the knee down towards the floor. So I want you to try both, and I want you to focus on what works best for your body. Pressing the knee down, take a breath or two. And when you're ready, let's switch sides. Left over right, check in with your spine. Nice and neutral, you might already feel the stretch. It's great. If you want to enhance, go ahead and pull the knee across to the opposite shoulder and take full breaths. Also, try pressing that knee down and away, keeping the back nice and straight. See how you feel. Awesome. Okay, this next one doesn't work so well with a chair. It works better with arm, or couch, bench, or other elevated surface. You're going to be elevated pigeon. So this position could be helped out by a yoga block or something to elevate your knee. There should be no pain in your knee with this particular move, all right? Well, there shouldn't really ever be any pain in your knee. So the yoga block is going to be the position for your knee if you need it. So I've got a 90-degree angle at my knee. If you feel like you need to elevate it, please do. If you feel like you can get all the way down to that elevated surface with a nice flat shin, perfect, okay? From here, I want you to play around and find your stretch. There's a number of ways to do that. One, check in with your spine. Two, you can bring the other knee down towards the floor in this type of position, supporting as needed. You can also straighten that back leg and drop your chest towards the shin to find a better stretch. You can also, in either of those positions, hunt around with the chest. Right? So play around as best you can. If this is a little bit too advanced or intense, you can always do this on your back as well, on the floor, pulling your shin in. Okay? I want you to hang out here as long as you need, taking full breaths, stretching those glutes. As a group, let's go ahead and switch. All right, so we've got the right shin. Right knee is 90 degrees, right shin's flat, or knee is elevated up on a yoga block. I want you to try the different positions. Knee towards floor, knee off floor with chest towards shin. And you can also play around by rotating or traveling. Every body is different. Everybody is going to feel a different stretch in these positions. So find what works for you. Take full breaths. As a group, let's go ahead and transition to our next elevated surface stretch. Okay, so rear foot elevated, means you're going to take your right foot and elevate it up on that surface with your knee down on the floor. The left foot is flat on the floor, and your goal in this position is to stretch anything on that front line from basically your ribs all the way down to your knee. Okay, quad, hip flexor. When you get there, you've already kind of enhanced the stretch with the elevated foot. You're going to tuck your hips underneath, and you're going to drive those hips forward. Just trying to keep that neutral hip position. Okay, breathe down into your belly. This is a position everybody needs to spend more time in. I encourage you to spend up to 3 minutes on each side in this position. Okay? This is a good standalone break move. You can also do this with your knee on your chair, with the back of your foot up on the back of the chair. As a group, let's go ahead and switch. Let's get the left foot elevated, left knee down, right foot flat. And then roll the hips back, push the hips forward. Full breaths down in the belly. Again, I want you to spend as much time here as you need, at least a minute, in the interest of time for this class, because it's informative. We're going to move on to some standing stretches that you can do. Right? Okay, friends. This is a perfect break time activity. It's something you can do anywhere. What I want you to do is first get your feet totally straight forward, standing tall through the crown of the head. Reach your fingertips down towards the floor. We're going to do forward rolls and basically a standing cat-cow. So roll your shoulders forward, tuck your chin to the chest, and then roll one vertebrae at a time down towards the floor. As far as you can comfortably. When you get to the bottom, roll up one vertebrae at a time. Reach those fingertips, take a breath, roll forward. Roll up. Now we're going to roll forward one more time, but instead of rolling up, freeze at the bottom. Now extend your back. The first thing that moves is your head, then your shoulders, then your upper back, mid back, low back. Okay, roll forward. Extend up head first. Let's do one more like that. Super slow and controlled. Perfect. Right. Next move that you can do from standing position is a little archer. So we're going to get big rotation through the spine. We're going to start with your hands, palms together out front. Pull your left hand back towards your left eyeball, turning your chest as much as you can, then reach that straight arm back. Follow with your eyes. Take a full breath here. Return to the start. Pull the right hand back to the right eye. From the chest, reach back. Take a breath. And return to the start. Let's speed that up a little bit. We're going to do it with your breath. So breathe in. Reach. Breathe out. Return. Breathe in. Reach. Breathe out. Turn. One more. Excellent. So there's a bunch of different stretches that you can do in different positions. We're going to finish our time